Alex with Travel Fashion Girl, and today we are here to talk about capsule wardrobes for summer weather. Now, even if it's not summertime, if it's hot weather, whether you're traveling between June and August or any other time of year, you can use these basic principles to help you plan your travel wardrobe. I have 10 pieces right here. 3 dresses, 4 tops, and 3 bottoms. So I'm going to show you exactly how to mix and match each of these pieces, how to choose the right items. That way you can travel carry-on only, or you can start downsizing your suitcase. Now don't worry, when I talk about 10 pieces, I don't mean that you only have to travel with 10 pieces of clothing. Although, if you mix and match 7 tops with 3 bottoms, that's actually 21 days worth of outfits. But we can talk about that afterwards. But for now, I'm going to show you how to make a minimum of 1 week's worth of clothing. And if you need a few more pieces after that, that's totally fine. These 10 pieces are going to act as sort of the essentials, the basics of your travel wardrobe. And then you can either add pieces or remove them as you need it. You might even find that 10 pieces is too much, but we'll see. Let me walk you through everything step by step. Let's get started. Let's start from the bottom up. Let's look at our bottoms. Now in this particular example, I've chosen 3 bottoms. I have 1 pair of shorts, a skirt, and a pair of pants. Now, let me clarify something before we carry on any further. If you're not a shorts girl, or you're not a sleeveless top girl, or you prefer dresses over pants, it's totally up to you. You can customize these pieces to suit your personal style. All I want you to take away from this master class of capsule wardrobes is how to actually create one. So you don't need to copy these exact outfits or the exact colors. If you prefer to have a bright hue of purples and pinks and greens, that's totally fine. And if you're more neutrals and you like browns and taupes, that's completely fine as well. What I'd like to show you is actually how to put together that travel wardrobe, that capsule wardrobe for travel, so you don't need to overpack. Now in this example, I've chosen a color palette featuring mostly neutrals. We've got I think we've got a few black colors and then different shades of blue with a few white and ivory shades. Again, you can add as much color or as little as you'd like, but this shows you that you don't need to have an all black wardrobe in order to travel light. So starting with the pants. Now, if you're traveling when it's really hot, the important thing is that you have something fresh. So in this case, I've chosen a pair of shorts. Because the rest of the tops are neutral colors, I've been able to choose a fun nautical stripe. Now remember, if you don't like shorts, all you have to do is take a skirt instead, or an airy pair of long trousers. So you've just got to change the bottoms to a bottom that suits you. In this case, I'm just going to show you some shorts. So what I've done is I've gotten linen shorts, and they're fresh. You can dress them kind of up. You can also wear them casually. Because they're not denim, they're a little bit dressier, so if you did want to wear them to a European destination or a city, maybe pair them with a long sleeve button-up blouse, some nice jewelry, you can definitely have them be a bit of a classier pair of shorts, which is great. I love the nautical inspired look because I love both, so that's what I have this for. Likewise, I also have chosen a skirt. Now, this one follows the similar principles. It's a shorter skirt. Of course, if you don't like having skirts or dresses above your knees, you can choose a maxi skirt, a midi skirt that falls below your knees. It's completely up to you. But the basic idea is that here we're trying to choose a couple of fresh pieces, whether they're shorts or skirts, that are going to allow you to be cool when it's really hot. Because I've traveled to Paris and Italy in the middle of summer, and man, it's even hotter than some places in Southeast Asia, I feel, with a lack of ocean breeze. So it can get really hot. So you want to try to have clothing that's as breathable as possible. Remember to choose light and airy fabrics. And in this case, obviously your bottoms don't need to mix and match, but your tops definitely need to mix and match with your bottoms. I'm going to show you the 3rd pair that I have. I've chosen a pair of navy blue pants. Now, if you're traveling to a warm destination, I usually like to have one pair of pants just in case you have a day where the temperature happens to drop, or maybe something that you can also wear on the flight. But I like to have the option of wearing a trouser. Now, you don't have to have blue pants. You can also have jeans, you can have linen pants. If you like cargo pants, that's totally up to you. It's completely fine as well. The main thing is you're finding items that are comfortable to you, that are comfortable to wear on the plane, and that you're also going to be able to wear in the temperature. Always remember to check weather.com or go to bbc.com weather and search the destination where you're going to be traveling. Now, also remember to pay attention to the humidity levels, because the humidity can add a lot more heat than the temperature can. So keep that in mind as well. So in this case, we've got 3 bottoms. With bottoms, I'd suggest, if you're going to choose colors and prints, to make sure that the tops that you choose are neutral, or they're also prints that can mix and match with those bottoms. Likewise, if you have a lot of tops and blouses that are full of prints and color, you want to make sure your bottoms are neutral as well. But I wanted to show you a few other neutral colors, or I guess the blue isn't really neutral, but the stripes sort of act as a neutral, so you don't feel like you have to have a boring color palette. To summarize, in hot weather, what you should have is a couple of bottoms that you can definitely wear on scorching hot days, and maybe a third one that will allow you to wear on a slightly cooler day, or maybe if you want to wear something on the flight, where usually the flights tend to be a little bit colder. Now, when you're choosing bottoms for travel, you want to always try to choose bottoms that you can wear for several days at a time. When it comes to bottoms, this is your opportunity to pack less and actually have more options. Because if you're traveling for a week, for example, you can wear the same bottoms repeatedly, especially if you're worried about your pictures, because most of the time you only see the top you're wearing in pictures anyway. And usually you can get away with wearing bottoms or jeans a lot more frequently or repeatedly in between washes than you can with shirts, where you tend to perspire more. So a few other details to keep in mind is, if you do have a trip that's longer than a week, you also want to try to find lightweight fabrics you can hand wash easily. Also, things that don't show dirt very easily. So if you're going to be traveling for a long time and you've got white pants, keep in mind that those might get dirtier. I like to choose colors such as blue, gray, and black. Although if I have to be honest, my favorite bottom color as a neutral is gray. I just feel like it goes with everything for any time of year. Another reason why it's also good to have a pair of longer pants or even a maxi skirt when you're going to travel to certain summer destinations or certain hot weather destinations is that you might be visiting conservative areas or temples and religious sites where you might need to cover up. In that case, don't forget to bring a bottom that goes below your knees and tops that fall below your shoulders. So if you do need to go into a religious site, it's important to dress respectfully, but you also want to stay fresh and cool as well. And remember, if you're only wearing the trousers to go into the religious site, you can switch your bottoms out afterwards. So that's just a little tip. Now that we've spoken about the bottoms that are ideal to create a capsule wardrobe, let's look at the tops. So we started by looking at our bottoms. I showed you that for a week or even for a longer trip, 3 bottoms is usually a good amount. Definitely no more than 4. And the reason why is because you probably want to pack more tops than bottoms. And let me show you how to choose them now. I have here 4 tops in this capsule wardrobe. 3 are sleeveless and 1 has a long sleeve. Now, the reason why I always like to travel with 1 long sleeve blouse or some kind of a long sleeve top, even when it's hot weather, because sometimes temperatures drop at night, or you may need to go in to visit a religious site or a conservative area where you need to have your shoulders or your arms covered, or you can even use it to shield your arms from the glaring sun as well. So in this case, one of the first tops that I choose for my hot weather travels is the one with the longer sleeves. Now, the fabric for the long sleeve top is very important, especially if you're going to be going to a destination where it's really warm. So ideally you choose 100% cotton, a linen blend, a rayon, a very lightweight fabric, something that's airy and breathable. You do want to avoid synthetic fabrics like polyester, or things that are really tight woven, because it can really feel very hot, and it can even feel like you're wearing a plastic bag in 40-degree heat, or 40 degrees Celsius heat over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So the great thing about this blouse, it's lightweight. It's a linen top that's actually also a tunic. So the tunic length for me is great because you can also use it as a beach cover up if you happen to be going to the beach. Then you can also wear it with the sleeves rolled up. You can wear it over your trousers. You can tuck it into your shorts. And then you can open it up and layer it as well. And it's nice because this is a nice smart top. It's very versatile. It's a nice light color and it can mix and match with everything. And on top of that, you can also wear it over your other tops in case you happen to come across some cooler weather. No matter what time of year I'm traveling, I always like to have a classic black top because I feel like it's a little bit dressier. It's something that I can wear, I can dress up, I can have a smart casual look if I need to have one. But the great thing is, because it's sleeveless, I can also wear it in warm weather. I've chosen 3 sleeveless tops in this capsule collection. However, you can choose short sleeve, 3/4 sleeve, all long sleeve. Again, remember you don't have to choose a black top or sleeveless tops. This is just to exemplify the principles. The other colors that I've chosen for the tops in this capsule wardrobe collection are white, navy, and for the long sleeve top, it was a chambray blue. So all of these can easily mix and match with the bottoms. So if I have 4 tops and 3 bottoms, 4 times 3 is 12. So basically, that's travel fashion math. That means you have 12 unique outfits. The cool thing about having 4 tops and 3 bottoms is if you're only going on, let's say, a 4-day trip, a long weekend, then you have 1 top per day and you only have to rewear one of your bottoms. However, if you're going to be gone for a week and you were to take 3 bottoms and 4 tops, then you can rewear each item twice, and then, or wear everything except one of the bottoms twice, and then you won't have to do any laundry if you're able to rewear it. Now that might not be as easy in a high humidity trip, which is why if you're gonna avoid doing laundry on a 1-week trip that's somewhere extremely hot, then you might want to take 7 tops and 3 bottoms, or you can also have some dresses like the ones I'm gonna show you in a little bit. The other thing to remember when you're choosing tops for summer weather is, again, a reminder, the fabric. This is a cotton top that's really easy to wear. One of the things that I like about this top is, of course, you can mix and match it with anything because it's white, but it's also a button top, which means that you can open it up and wear it over, let's say, over this top to create a different look. So you can unbutton it and layer it over, just for, if it's not too hot that day, it's a mild day, to change the look up a little bit. Or you can even wear it over a dress as well to change it up, close it, or maybe tie it around your waist like a vest. So that's the great thing about having a button down top of some sort, whether it's sleeveless or longer sleeves. Now, some of you may be thinking, white for summer weather, are you kidding me? Or white for travel in general? Actually, white's become one of my favorite colors to travel with. And unless you're usually accident prone and you usually spill stuff on yourself when you're at home, I wouldn't worry so much about staining your clothing while you're traveling. Now, if you're afraid and you refuse to wear white, another color that I found that works really nice, it's nice and light for the summer weather, is a very light gray color, or a very light taupe. So it still offers that sort of a very fresh summer look, but you can avoid having stains show up as easily as that. Navy is actually one of my favorite colors to wear in the summer or even throughout the year, especially as a replacement to black. Now, black and navy don't work well together, so keep in mind if you're gonna go navy, avoid wearing black as well. Try to use navy, but basically with any other color, just as you would use black. Now, with the tops that I'm choosing, they're a little bit on the dressier side. If you prefer to wear maybe something it's a different fabric, if you prefer more of a t-shirt look, that's completely fine. It's totally up to you. This is just to exemplify the different looks. And I like to have an option that's a little bit dressier because it's just a little bit more of a tailored look when you're traveling, especially if you want to have some awesome Instagram pictures at the end of the trip. To summarize, when it comes to choosing your tops and blouses for hot weather travels, try to choose tops that are in different colors, that also will be able to mix and match with your bottoms, and always try to choose a top in a longer sleeve. If you're going to a destination where it's more conservative or you're required to cover your shoulders or your arms, then make sure that you especially pay attention to the fabric and choose something like linens and cottons, things that are fresh. Tunics work very well. And don't forget that you can also tuck your shirts in to create a different look, and it's also a little bit more polished as well. So now that we've looked at the first portion of our capsule wardrobe, we can look at dresses. Now, dresses are absolutely fantastic for travel. In fact, some female travelers only travel with dresses year-round for hot or cold destinations. But in this capsule wardrobe, we're going to talk about dresses for hot weather. Dresses give you the opportunity to have way more fun with your travel wardrobe because you can choose brighter colors and prints, although be mindful that if you're going to a tropical destination, bright florals and neons and high vivid bright hues may make a little bit more sense than having it in a cosmopolitan city. And maybe if you're going to be traveling in a city, then neutrals and more classic prints will be a better option for dresses. Now, in this example, I've chosen 3 sleeveless dresses. And if sleeveless dresses aren't what you like to wear, and they're all about knee length, if you want something shorter, something longer, remember, these are just 3 dresses. Choose a dress that makes sense for you in whatever sleeve length and leg length that makes sense for you. Now, with dresses, there's a couple of things to keep in mind when you're choosing them. One, they can keep you really fresh or make you really hot if you're wearing the wrong fabrics. Just like anything else, try to choose lighter fabrics, natural fabrics, things that won't really keep you from being able to breathe, because in the hot summer sun or just the scorching heat, not even a dress can keep you fresh. So avoid synthetic fabrics at all costs. Having a maxi dress or a dress that's ankle length or below your knees, it's always a great option, but try to choose one that's in a lighter fabric. That way you can avoid having too much fabric rolled up in your suitcase because they can take up a little bit of room. However, if you happen to find a couple of dresses and you absolutely love them and can easily rewear them without washing them every single time, then in this case, you're in luck because they're just fun and easy to wear again and again, like the pieces that I've actually chosen right here. So the first dress that we're going to talk about is a basic black dress. I love this dress. It's actually a really popular one that a lot of the Travel Fashion Girl readers adore. So I actually got it based on their recommendation. It's just a classic tank dress. And what I love about something like this is that you can wear it casually with a pair of sneakers, with flip-flops by the beach, or you can even pair it with heels for a more dressed up look. So if you're going to be going to a resort trip or on a beach trip, then maybe you don't need a black dress. Maybe you want something a bit more bright, like a royal blue, coral, bright orange, whatever you want, and have that be your classic dress that you're going to be dressing up or down. But in a city destination, then for me, I feel like this would be a little bit more versatile. And remember, you can also layer your dresses by putting tops on top of them. If you happen to be traveling somewhere, for example, that isn't 100 degrees, let's say it's 75, 80 degrees in the summer, something a bit more reasonable, or in the evening time when the temperatures might drop, then you can put a top on top of the dress to make a different look and to use the dress sort of as a skirt. So let me show you guys how that might work. So in this case, we have the classic button-down top. I have a sleeveless version, but again, it can be sleeved if you'd like. It's totally up to you. You can actually wear this top buttoned up over the dress, and knot it or leave it loose, whatever's comfortable. You can wear a belt on top, and that can create a bit of a different look for you. Or you can also unbutton it and just wear it open and loosely hanging over the dress to create a different look. That's another reason why I like to have at least one solid color classic dress, because it's very versatile and you can just, layer it and unlayer it and create so many different looks with it as well. I've actually found a couple of dresses that I really like for traveling, and they're actually softer modal fabric, so they're a little bit thicker than what I normally like to try to stick to. I love rayon for hot weather because it's very lightweight and it tends to be an inexpensive fabric as well, so that's usually my preference. But in this case, this dress has been so easy to wear and so versatile that I wanted to wear it 2 or 3 times in 1 week in a destination, and I felt so comfortable that I absolutely loved it. And these are the types of pieces that you should look for. If you have any pieces that you love to wear at home, whether it's a dress, a pair of bottoms, or a top, and you would wear it over and over, those are the best pieces for travel because you know that you're comfortable with them. The last thing that you want is to wear something you've never worn before and that you've been saving in your closet for a special occasion, because if you haven't worn it by now, you probably won't feel comfortable wearing it on your trip as well. Even if a dress takes up a little bit more space, if it happens to be something that's versatile and you can rewear easily without washing in between, then that's perfect. So in this case, I've chosen 2 different dresses. Actually, I think they're the same dress, but in 2 different colors. Why? Because I was so happy and comfortable in one that I ordered another one in a different color. In this case, it's versatile. Again, something I can wear. The reason why I've chosen these colors because they're ones that I love and I feel comfortable with. I also felt that I like them in the warm weather. So in this case, I've chosen dresses that are knee length, but in case you're going to destinations where modesty is required, then I definitely encourage you to choose a dress that falls below your knee or even up to your ankle to help as well. Now, dresses they can keep you very fresh in hot weather, but if you do need to cover up, remember that you can easily just layer a blouse, layer a long sleeve top over it to walk into temples or religious sites where you need to cover up, or very easily just throw on a scarf over your shoulders and then remove it once you leave the site. That way you can be fresh when you're outside but be respectful when you're inside. One of the reasons that female travelers love dresses and rompers as well, or play suits for travel, is that they're a full outfit in one piece. So let's say that you were traveling to the beach side or a city in hot weather time and you were going for 7 days, then all you need to pack is 7 dresses, 7 rompers, 7 play suits, or a mix of all. And you wouldn't have to be worrying about mixing and matching your outfit every day. You'd have a unique piece to wear. And imagine if you're traveling longer than a week to a warm weather destination, you just need to do laundry and or rewear the pieces again and again so they last a little bit longer. Now you might be wondering, laundry, why do I want to do laundry while I'm traveling? Well, laundry is the smart traveler's secret to packing light. Basically, you pack for 1 week's worth of travel. Now, whether you're traveling for a week or a year, so for example, right now I have a week's worth of outfits, and I'll explain that a little bit more in a second. But I have enough here to create a week's worth of unique travel outfits. But technically, at the end of that week, if I was traveling longer, then I could just do laundry and start fresh. And the next week, because all the items mix and match, you could still create unique outfits as well. Another reason why doing laundry on the go is a benefit is because if you're traveling for a long time, let's say you're traveling for a few weeks, months, or even years at a time, then you don't necessarily have to pack for that long. You just have to wash every 1 week as long as you have the right amount where you're able to do so. Now, how do you keep your clothes fresh while you're on the go? Now, rewearing clothes is a little bit easier when it's winter time or the weather's a little bit more moderate. But when you're encountering 40 degrees Celsius or over 100 degrees weather with high humidity, the last thing you want to do is rewear clothing, especially your tops and dresses. Your bottoms, you can get away with it once or twice maybe, but the tops and dresses, you really have to kind of keep them fresh in between. If you need to stretch them out a little bit longer because you might not have access to laundry within a week, maybe it'll be 10 days, or maybe your trip's only 8 days long or 9 days and you don't want to do laundry. There's little tricks that will allow you to keep your clothes fresher on the go. One example is as soon as you get home from a day out sightseeing and you're ready to freshen up to go to bed, then hang up your top, bottom, hang that up, and that way it can kind of get some fresh air. The last thing you want to do is crumple it up and throw it in a bag, so let it breathe for a little bit. You can also travel with a Febreze travel spray to keep your clothes fresh on the go. One hack is to also have the dryer sheets. You can put them in your clothes and your suitcase generally to keep it smelling fresh while you're traveling. The one thing is if you are traveling in high humidity destinations, the dresses that I've chosen, for example, the modal fabric, it will take longer to dry than, for example, 100% cotton dress would. So keep in mind that this item, for example, if you do need to air dry your clothing, will dry quicker than something that's a little bit heavier and thicker. How will you know how much time it'll take to dry? Well, I'd suggest do a test run at home and do either hand wash your clothing or pop it in the washer. Then don't use a dryer, hang everything up in the bathroom and see how long it takes to dry. If it takes a couple of days, then you might want to reconsider that. And if it takes a couple of hours or just an overnight, that's a very good item. So far, we've discussed choosing bottoms, tops, and dresses for a capsule wardrobe. Now, you might still be wondering, well, how exactly am I going to make a unique outfit from just these 10 items? Well, it's really easy. So in total, we have 1, 2, 3 dresses and 4 tops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. That's very easy. So in this case, you would need to just wear the dresses 1 per day. You wear the tops 1 per day, and then you'll wear them twice. So you really won't have to do laundry in that amount of time. Now, that's perfect for exactly 1 week. Now, let's say you were traveling for a little bit longer, then all you have to do is maybe rewear one of the items, whether it's a dress, one of the tops, and the bottoms, and the ones that you feel have stayed fresh for a little bit longer in that case. And for me, that probably usually would be a dress or one of the tops, like a synthetic top, although it might not be usually as fresh in the summer. If you air them out, they tend to actually stay pretty well intact for several days, which is pretty bad. But again, secret hack for packing light is to rewear your clothing. So now the other thing is mixing and matching your tops and bottoms. So we discussed a little bit about layering your dresses and your tops, even your tops together in case you happen to encounter a little bit of cooler weather. And of course, you've checked the weather before you've gone on your trip to ensure that you know what the day temperature is going to be and the night temperature, and the wind and the humidity, all factors that make you a little bit cooler or warmer. I mentioned before that 4 tops and 3 bottoms with travel fashion math, 4 times 3 is 12. So in that case, that's 12 outfits. So if you only wanted to travel with 2 dresses, so that'd be 9 pieces of clothing, then you can wear 4 times 3, 12, and then have the 2 dresses, so that's 14 unique outfits. You could or could not do laundry in between. That just depends on how humid the conditions are. This is just an example of how many outfits you can create with 10 pieces. In this case, I've ensured that all the tops and bottoms go together. For example, I have the shorts, and here I can wear it with a navy sleeveless top. I can also wear it with my classic, just favorite sleeveless top as well. Quite easily wear it with a button-down sleeveless white top, either tucked in or worn out a little bit more casually. Although if you tuck in your blouse, it is a little bit more polished, so I definitely recommend it when you can. So very easily mixing and match. And lastly, You can wear the shorts with the long sleeve top, and usually what I'll do is I'll roll up my sleeves to be 3/4 sleeve. And an outfit like this, just with some jewelry, maybe like the ones that I'm wearing, and some flats or some nice sandals, a little bit of hair and makeup, and it can seem like a very smart, polished look while comfortable and casual as well. In this case, I've chosen a nice sort of cobalt blue skirt to show you that you don't necessarily always need to have black, white, navy blue, beige, a neutral color. I love wearing blue. It's one of my favorite colors. So when I do travel, I always make sure to choose a lot of blues. And in this case, all the tops will mix and match with the skirt to make 4 unique outfits. I can wear the navy blue sleeveless button-down shirt with the cobalt blue skirt to have a play on different shades of blue. And this one you can pair with some ballet flats, sandals, or even sneakers. But I'd probably like the ballet flat for maybe a nice meal or a nice dinner, or just a smarter look. The skirt can also easily be worn with a black classic basic top for an easy outfit. Either again tucked in or worn out. But I kind of like the idea of tucking in a skirt. If you play, one trick is to play with your waistline and have it a little bit higher or a little bit lower, somewhat in between until you find that right spot. And what you could do as well is add a belt here to add interest and to kind of define your waist a little bit more as well. The classic white top again goes with everything. Again, it can go easily with the skirt, be worn inside or outside. And then again, you can layer this top over maybe the black one if you wanted to have something a little bit of a different look in between. One tip that I forgot to mention for white clothing is if you air dry them in the sunlight, then it helps them lighten and keep them nice and crisp white as well. And lastly, you can tuck in the tunic button-down top and have another unique look as well. I think this is a really nice, smart, polished look. I really like this look. Now, one thing to keep in mind is if perhaps this type of skirt doesn't flatter you, you don't like the waistband, you don't like short skirts, you don't like shorts, then you don't have to take them on your trip. All you have to do is look in your closet and ask yourself what you feel most comfortable wearing when you're in hot weather, when it's summertime in your destination, and try to choose something that you like and that makes sense for your personal style. So far, we've made 8 unique outfits with just 6 pieces of clothing, 4 tops and 2 bottoms, mixing and matching. So that's really impressive what we could do in just a week if we wanted to travel with only 6 pieces of clothing. But because we're going to show you the basics, here is one more mixing and matching, featuring a pair of pants with all the tops. Again, playing a lot with blues on this trip, but if you could also have gray pants, jeans, white linen trousers, whatever makes sense for you and whatever color story you like. So you can easily pair a button-down shirt with some trousers for a nice, smart, tailored look. If you prefer, you can also wear it on the outside for something more relaxed as well. I love the color of these navy blue trousers though, because the other tops are neutral. I just think it adds a little bit of fun without a print and without being a little bit too crazy. So having the trousers again, if you do have a cooler day, pair of pants like this with a top maybe will not be the most comfortable if it's going to be 100-degree weather. But in some destinations, in some cities, for example in Los Angeles, it might be really warm during the day, but in the summer it might be 20 degrees Fahrenheit less. So you can transition into this easily, and even as the day gets cooler, if that happens, you might even want to layer your long sleeve top over the sleeveless top with the trousers. So those are a few tricks to keep you, so you can fluctuate your clothing. So those are a few tricks so you can layer your clothing due to fluctuations of weather in, in between the daytime or the nighttime, or if the days get a little bit cooler. And of course, lastly, we have the classic white top that can easily, again, be worn tucked in or tucked out as well. There you have it. 3 bottoms, 4 tops, 12 outfits. So you've got an idea about how you can travel with just a compact wardrobe of only 10 items in a carry-on. But remember, I've shown you 10 items. You might feel like you need a couple more pieces. Maybe you have a special event. Maybe you have a special activity that you'll be participating in. So bring 1 or 2 more pieces. That's completely fine. Or perhaps you're not ready to travel carry-on only. And again, that's also fine. But you can just use these principles in choosing your clothing so you don't have to bring 10 pairs of pants, 7 jeans for a 1-week trip. And that's really, with bottoms, that's where you can save the most space because they are easy to rewear. In fact, I've traveled with 1 pair of jeans for an entire summer. I didn't need more than that. So, especially jeans, because they're great for travel because they can go very far without washing. But if you're going to a very warm destination, you probably don't want them. So you want to try to find more lightweight, breathable options as well. Lastly, when it comes to traveling in the summer, I still always recommend to take 1 or 2 light layers that you can either wear together or wear separately, just in case the temperature does get cooler. Again, you'll know that by checking the weather report. But in this case, you can take a light sweater. Because it's a neutral color, you can wear over everything. If you don't feel comfortable wearing a lighter color like this, you can obviously wear a black cardigan, a blue cardigan, taupe, a print, anything that you want. Or you can choose a button-up cardigan. I like this one because it acts as another top. It's a very lightweight knit sweater that you can easily pair with your shorts, or even pair over this tucked in with the skirt, worn with the pants. The most important thing with the layers that you do choose is because they're going to be going over all your other clothing, you have to make sure that they all match. So in this case, if you're choosing a bunch of different prints to wear, to mix and match, you might not want another print layer on top. So you might want a neutral one, and vice versa. If you have more neutrals, you might like a print layer that can add a little bit more interest if needed. Another option for summer hot weather travel is a denim jacket or a button-up long sleeve top. So in this case, you could wear, if this was a fully buttoned up top, then you can also wear a top like that as your light layer. That's actually one of my favorite things to do, but I really like this tunic, so I'm okay without it being fully buttoned up. You can also wear a lightweight blazer like the one I have on and just place it over your items at night. If you prefer a more casual hooded jacket, or maybe even, depending on where you're going, a lightweight leather jacket. Again, denim jacket tends to be sort of the traveler favorite during summertime. So that's a very easy layer. And if you do choose something, for example, like a cardigan, you can easily wear this underneath the blazer, underneath a denim jacket, and underneath something else, because again, if it does get colder, you're prepared. And that really is how to be prepared for every situation. You don't need to pack more things, you just need to pack the right things. Now, when it comes to choosing shoes for the summer, you've got various options. And really, it depends on where you're going to be traveling. If you're going to go to the beach, if you're going to be going to a city, what activities are you going to be doing? Bottom line, the most important thing is for your shoes to be comfortable. Now, if you're going to spend the whole time on a beach, you probably will only need a pair of sandals, flip-flops, something comfortable. That way you can just kind of easily slip on and off. Then if you're going to be in a city, you might want something that's appropriate for the pavement or cobblestone streets. Europe, for example, has cobblestone streets in many destinations, and they're jagged. So it's important to have flat shoes with rubber grips they're comfortable, and again, neutrals that you can wear with all of your outfits. So when I say neutral color, it doesn't mean you have to wear black shoes. In fact, if you wear another color such as gray or a tan, something brown, even white, something that just gives it a little bit more, makes it pop a little bit more, especially for the summer, unless you're wearing a lot of clothing that matches with black shoes. In this case, I find one of the most versatile shoes year round is brown or tan leather shoes, or pleather, faux leather, depending on what you're looking for, but a nice tan shoe. Now let me show you what I mean by that. In this case, this is a great sandal. It's something that the color, you don't necessarily have to find something in this style, but this color is great because it mixes and matches with everything, and it also offers a little bit of a dressier look. That way you can feel like you're not overly casual, and it's just a little bit dressier than a canvas, for example. And you can basically wear it with any color. As you can see, it goes with the blue, the navy blue. It easily matches with black, with the lighter colors. In this case, the tan would go perfectly well with an all black outfit if you like all black. It'd be perfect with a lighter color. It would even match with the blue or stripes, so it really is quite versatile. Now let's discuss the important features that comfortable travel shoes should have for the summer. When it comes to travel shoes, there are different features that you should look for. Now normally, I'd like to have a pair of sandals because when it's very hot, my feet swell in the heat. So if yours don't, you might be fine with closed-toe shoes, but it's nice to have to allow your toes to breathe, especially when it's really hot and humid. Something important to consider is a rubber sole. The reason why a rubber sole is important because it helps to avoid slipping and sliding. It allows more grip for varying types of pavement, pebbles, cobblestone, dirt, everything basically. Or if you even encounter areas where there's rain on the floor, there's puddles, whatever it is. So this is just a little bit sturdier. So try to find shoes that have a rubber sole. Another important feature that you should look for in travel shoes, whether for summer or another time, is something with an arch support. Flat shoe may not be comfortable for all women to wear for long periods of time. I think as we get older, then we require more arch support because our footbed actually naturally loses its padding. So that's why we need more support sometimes, and due to back issues and other things. So arch support is something you want to try to look for, and that's usually something found in comfort shoe brands. And on Travel Fashion Girl, we have a full list of comfort shoe brands and suggested styles that you can look at. Now, one more feature that would be good is a soft footbed. You're going to be on your feet for a long time, and perhaps maybe these sandals might be comfortable for some, but not for everybody. What you want to make sure is that the sandal that you choose is something that you can wear for hours at a time. Now, if maybe you're choosing a dressier sandal that you're only planning to wear for dinner time, then that can be embellished, it can be flat, heeled, whatever you want. But your main shoe, if your main shoe is going to be a sandal for sightseeing, it has to be super comfortable. Something you can wear for 8 to 10 hours a day, something that's already broken in, and you definitely want to try them out at home before you travel. So either look in your closet for your favorite summer shoes that you feel they're the most comfortable, or when you go shopping, bring along the outfits that you plan to wear, or at least one of the outfits, and make sure that one, it matches with the rest of your clothing, and it's also something that you would feel comfortable wearing for many hours at a time. Speaking about neutral colors, another neutral color that's ideal for traveling are metallics. So I love a bronze, a silver, a platinum, different metallics that sometimes can be a little bit dressier, and they can also mix and match with anything. In this case, this shoe has a more casual shape than the other one, but it also offers arch support, it offers a rubber sole, and it also has something a little bit dressier so you can wear with all the different clothing. It mixes and matches with everything, and you can wear it probably anywhere from a beach to a city. And also some areas, if you are entering religious sites or homes where you need to remove your shoes. In Southeast Asia, for example, you need to have your shoes on and off all the time. Something like this might work. But then other people might not want a slip-on because you might want something that has an ankle strap. That way you have a little bit more security when you're walking as well. So think about, again, what you normally wear, what suits you, what makes more sense, what's comfortable. Sometimes we may not want a sandal to walk around in summer weather. We might want a closed-toe shoe. So sneakers, trainers, espadrilles, slip-ons, these are all really popular options for summer travel. For example, like a Superga sneaker. I like this espadrille by Bionic. It actually has hidden arch support, a soft footbed, and the rubber sole as well. It's a nice canvas fabric, so it's easy to wear. Something you probably wouldn't want to wear if it's going to be raining as well, or humid. But the point is that there are various options. Now, some people might feel more comfortable wearing sneakers or tennis shoes. Really, you have to wear what you would normally wear at home and what you feel most comfortable in. But a pair of shoes like this, if you were looking to wear something a bit casual but still polished, an espadrille is a great option for travel. And again, there's certain brands like Bionic that don't look like comfort shoe brands, but they do offer the features to have a little bit more support and comfort as well. Whenever you're traveling, I normally recommend that you don't pack more than 3 pairs of shoes. In this case, I'd recommend a minimum of 2 pairs. A pair of sandals. Again, and these are sandals that you feel comfortable walking in and when it's really hot, when sightseeing in all day. Number 2 would be a pair of sneakers or closed-toe shoes like the espadrilles, an alternate sightseeing shoe option. And then if you are planning some light outdoor activities, then you might want to have a bit maybe more of a, not an espadrille, but a sneaker. You have to keep in mind what you're actually going to be doing on this trip. Obviously, if you're going to be fine dining, then you might need some heels as well. But if you're not going to, then you probably could leave the heels at home. Usually, comfort beats heels when you're traveling, especially when you're on your feet all day long. We've got a pair of sandals, a pair of closed-toe shoes or sneakers. I call the third pair of shoes your wild card. It's basically something, if you're doing a special activity, then that's what the third pair of shoe would be for. So whether that's going to be hiking or doing outdoor activities, or maybe you're going to be on the beach, so you want a pair of flip-flops. You're going to be fine dining, so you want some heels. Or if you want something a bit dressier, then ballet flats are actually a great option to dress up your outfit when you're traveling. Now, my disclaimer about ballet flats is they tend to be flat. So these are not the shoes that you should be wearing to go sightseeing. Ideally, your sightseeing shoes would be either the sandals or the closed-toe shoes / sneakers. But the ballet flats are something you could have as a dressier option if you'd like. If not, you could travel with just 2 pairs of shoes. But I would probably say never go with just 1 pair, because sometimes when your feet hurt, it does help when you switch out the different pairs of shoes. You also might want to travel with these shoes on, but remember to leave room for them inside your suitcase if you want to switch them out. I usually like to pack all of my clothing, even what I'm going to wear on the flight, inside the suitcase to make sure there's room for everything. I don't know if you've ever gone home from a trip and your suitcase kind of, grows and there's less space than there was before. Because, I don't know, the clothing seems to grow. It's because maybe you've replaced your flight clothing, so you didn't actually account for it to begin with. So always make sure to do a test run packing and include all of your items. And whatever is in this capsule wardrobe is what you'd also be wearing on the flight as well. Choose one handbag that would mix and match again with everything. You could also bring an additional smaller item such as a clutch that you could wear for restaurants at night. But to be honest with you, on the majority of travels, you tend to wear one outfit from day to night. You hardly ever have time to go home and change unless your trip specifically has separate day and night events. For this particular trip, because I have lighter colors, I don't really have much black, I might choose a neutral color like tan. You can also, maybe you want to choose something brighter, a pop of color. Again, something that suits your style. But what you have to keep in mind when you're traveling is to choose a purse that's something comfortable for your trip. Women love using crossbody bags for travel because they're comfortable, they can easily put them across their chest and make sure they're also secured to provide a little bit more safety. Another option instead of crossbody bags are a purse style backpack like the one here. Now notice that it's not a sporty backpack like in an Adidas backpack or a Nike backpack, because in this case, the rest of my clothing doesn't reflect a sporty outdoor look. So I probably want to carry something that I'd wear at home. And really, you don't stand out as much when you're wearing normal things that you'd also have at home, or a normal purse, because you probably wouldn't walk around with a sporty backpack at home either. So this is great because you get to be hands-free. It's very spacious. I love not having a purse on my shoulder when I'm at the airport or when I'm traveling. So try to find a backpack with features that someone might not easily be able to open. In this case, it looks like they could, but this has actually another way to tie it, so then it kind of just keeps the zipper from being as easy. You could also buy anti-theft backpacks, anti-theft purses. It depends on what kind of security needs you have. For the most part, the things to keep in mind are a bag that's big enough for your daily essentials. If you probably don't need as much as you think you might need. And also keep in mind is if you have a shoulder bag, crossbody bag, a backpack, what's the weight going to look like when you're walking around all day? Is that going to cause any discomfort? So maybe you can also do a practice run and pack whatever you would normally walk, or what you'd think you'd want to walk around with sightseeing, and walk around with it at home too to see if that weight's comfortable for you. Lastly, for accessories, I always recommend you take 1 to 2 sets of jewelry, things that are interchangeable, something very simple. Usually less is more when you're on the road for several reasons. You stand out less, maybe you're less of a target for theft, a variety of reasons. But in this case, I recommend something like what I have on right now. I have a pair of studs that I can wear with every single thing. I have a bit of a statement necklace, but it's still understated at the same time. And then I have a bracelet. So these are all things that I can wear together. I can wear them separately. They're not an exact set, but they're all interchangeable. So if I was traveling, I might only take these 3 items, or I might take also 3 more, maybe in different colors, to also add a bit of a different look with accessories. That's basically it. A capsule wardrobe for hot weather travels. It's very easy to mix and match the pieces, but remember, a few things to keep in mind when you're choosing the right things are the fit. How does the clothing fit? You have to also try it on to make sure that the top does go well with the pants. So make sure you don't throw a bunch of stuff in your suitcase without testing it out first. So head over, try all these things on, take a picture of what you look like in the mirror, and that way you also have your outfits already in your phone, so you can have a quick reference or even print it out if you want to when you're already on your trip, so you have a quick, easy go-to. And you remember exactly how you wore it, how you styled it. Also fabric, that's very important for fabrics. We do have a list of the best fabrics for travel on Travel Fashion Girl. But generally speaking, for the summer, you want to avoid synthetics. Stick to nice natural fabrics like 100% cotton or linen, rayon. Because of the thickness of the fabrics, the thickness also adds a little bit more heat and adds a little bit more thickness for the bulk of a suitcase. You want to make sure that the colors all mix and match together, and the prints mix and match together as well. If you have colorful and printed bottoms, go for neutral tops, and vice versa. Don't forget that your layers should also be able to mix and match with everything. A neutral gray is also always one of my favorite things to wear. A nice light gray kind of goes with everything. The dresses. Don't forget that dresses are really the easiest outfit for summer. It's an all-in-one outfit, or a romper, pantsuit, a play suit. Basically, these are one piece with shorts or with pants on them. Those are really easy. So you can take 7 dresses on a 1-week trip. If you're traveling longer, you can take more, or you can have a variety of pieces like this. 3 bottoms, 4 tops, and 3 dresses makes 10 pieces with weeks worth of outfits. So good luck with your journey, and I look forward to seeing you on Travel Fashion Girl for more tips.